Hi, Jeanne. Hi, Beth.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you both for taking a few minutes to jump on this call with me. And, you know, the three of us were just talking for a second about how um, we have all three of us have treated eating disorders for quite a while and how we all have been trained in internal family systems theory for quite a while. And that I was really wanting to be able to have a panel discussion with the two of you at the conference to kind of to continue to bring the two worlds of IFS and eating disorders together. So I thought maybe what we could do is just each of you take a few minutes to talk about, Jeanne, like what led you to IFS um, and from coming to
Sure.
work in the eating disorder field.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, when I started working with eating disorders, I had really just been trained psychodynamically. And the more I did work with eating issues, eating disorders, I started really realizing how much I needed to learn about trauma oriented treatments. And so I trained in EMDR and then somatic experiencing. I really loved those models they felt much more effective, along with kind of considering the meaning of the eating disorder symptoms. But of course, it was much more heady. Then I got some of the EMDR and SC, which were really helpful to get at some of the trauma. But the folks that I was learning from were also really excited about IFS. And I was like, okay, I've just through two major trainings. I don't know that I need more training. But that was when somebody discovered a treatment facility that was using IFS, primarily. It was like the primary modality. And I started referring my clients there because I was working at an eating disorder treatment. I was working at a day treatment. And so when I started referring people to that program and they were doing IFS, I couldn't believe the transformations they were making. So then I was like, okay, I immediately have to get trained. And so that's when I got trained in IFS. And it really transformed my practice. It transformed my whole experience of working with eating disorders and people in general. But it really facilitated healing in a way I was amazed by it. So, and then of course, it personally has become a life practice. So I'm excited to have the opportunity to talk about this at length because really I couldn't be more excited about using IFS to treat disordered eating across the spectrum to more extreme eating disorders. It's really so effective. And to talk to you two about it because I know you feel similarly, about it.
How long ago was that, Jeanne?
I start I started referring people to the facility that used IFS around 2007, and then I started training at the beginning of 2009 in IFS,
Got
and
it.
then got really immersed in it. So mhm.
I'm also really looking forward to and hoping when we're talking, um, for you to be able to talk about how you made the decision to write your book.
Great, be
Because
happy to.
that really, yeah, I would love to hear a little bit more about that.
Great, I'd love to talk about that.
Yeah.
Really.
All right. Thank you. And
Hmm.
Beth, you want to just check in a little bit? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, I've been in the field of eating disorders since 1983. And what happened is, and remember that I use humor in all of my work, probably in this presentation too. And I trained in IFS because it was on the Cape and I wanted to go to the Cape and I knew nothing about IFS. And I was like, I can go to the Cape, I can train in something. I really didn't know anything. And so it was somewhere between maybe 2003 and 2005 that I think Richard Schwartz was doing a training on the Cape.
Hmm.
And so I just kind of did it and I loved it. It was hard because I didn't know the intensity of the training and what it would be like. And I don't think a lot of people in my community knew about it. So I think, one of the first people in the eating disorder field around here that got trained. And then I came back and I started looking into the longer trainings. And then I took my bigger training, the year-long training, which was weekend intensives and all in person, which is a little different now, in 2007. And then I kind of did like one and a halves and I did different things after that. And my path has been probably very, very different than other people. I, throughout my life, I've had a little bit of a learning disability that was not diagnosed when I was young. So learning new techniques has been really, really challenging for me. And so my path was really about trying to learn it, then then trying to accept that I probably was not going to become an expert in eating disorder in IFS, and that I was really needing to just learn the language, learn the themes of it. And so that ultimately has been what has moved my practice and moved my life into a different arena. And that was a long, long process for me, really over 10 years after my training, where I personally, professionally struggled with, particularly in my IFS listservs, I'd hear all these people that were like doing all IFS, and I'm like, but I keep on going back to psychodynamic or doing some DBT and some CBT, and I was mixing everything up and kind of felt like a failure around the IFS. And then I got a lot of supervision, did a little bit of therapy with IFS, and then kind of came into this place where I was like, I love IFS. I love the language. It totally was what I was looking for in terms of my practice, because the eating disorder field back in the early 2000s was not strength-based.
Yeah, right.
And I was really having a hard time with that. And so when I first heard words like curiosity, I was like, that's what I want to be. That's who I want to be. Why are all these people talking about enmeshment and, blaming parents and all of that? So it really has been this lovely process for me. And I feel like the last 10 years I've landed in where I want to be with it.
That's awesome. That's
Mm.
awesome. So I'm really looking forward to furthering this discussion, and I really wanted people who are curious about taking our talk to know a little bit about what we're going to be doing, and they'll also be able to, or there'll be time for people to kind of call in and type in questions and chat with us a little bit too. So thank you both for taking time. I look forward to presenting with you in about a month.
Yep,
Wonderful.
great, me too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.